What's happening, guys? Welcome into another boxing breakdown and prediction show for this weekend's hugely anticipated rematch up at heavyweight between former champ Alexander Povetkin and long-time WBC mandatory Dillian Whyte. So let's jump into it. Now, despite Povetkin winning that first fight with a brutal KO in the fifth, not much has changed odds-wise for this rematch. With Whyte entering in as a minus 350 favourite, with Povetkin coming back as a plus 270 underdog. Those were around the same odds for the first fight as well. Now, that's mainly down to how the first fight was going before the knockout, with Whyte pretty much dominating the fight from start to finish, with a few knockdowns added in as well before that shock stoppage in the fifth. And Whyte was quick to emphasize that point after the fight, that this was nothing more than him taking it too easy in there after dominating early and getting caught cold with a lucky shot. However, I'm far from convinced about that argument. To me, there was absolutely nothing lucky about Povetkin's shot whatsoever. And it's a hook/uppercut that he's used numerous times over the course of his career, often to devastating effect, as we've seen last time out. The most troubling thing ahead of this one for Whyte is the fact that he seems to actually believe it. Former unified cruiserweight world champion and heavyweight champion David Haye recently posted a video about this point also, where he questioned Whyte's attitude ahead of this rematch, saying if he honestly believed Povetkin threw nothing more than a lucky punch in that first fight, that he could be in for a very rude awakening come this Saturday. And I'm of exactly the same mindset here. Whyte was dominating early in that first fight. No one's arguing that point. But that was mainly due to the fact Povetkin was looking to come inside in order to land that uppercut. And he was caught several times with hooks over the top as a result. The danger for Whyte here for me is the fact he now knows he can be caught cold by Povetkin. The way Povetkin set up that knockdown, dipping slightly to the right, shooting a straight left up top before ducking down and coming right up underneath, was really high-level stuff, something he's done a million times. And it also means Whyte will now have to react to every single feint Povetkin throws in this fight, as potentially any one of them could end the show here. Reactive boxing takes a lot more out of the energy reserves than leading does, and Whyte, who doesn't have the best gas tank to begin with, likely suffers here as a result. Whyte is a capable fighter, no doubt, but I've always felt personally that he's a bit of an overvalued commodity, which is why I picked Povetkin the first time around as well. He has got a likable personality, which does help bring in fans. But in terms of overall resume, Whyte's is threadbare. His two best wins coming against a washed-up Derek Chisora in a rematch after a really close first fight that arguably could have went either way. And Joseph Parker, who, if those two fought again, I would take Parker in a rematch in a heartbeat. I'll take nothing away from Whyte in that first fight. He was dominating early, as we said. He does have power. He got those couple of knockdowns as well. So perhaps this time around he can close the show before Povetkin has a chance to fully come inside and force the issue. But laying minus 350 on Whyte, like, this is the gambling game. That's a fool's line right there. As while Whyte can win, to say he has upwards of a 78% chance to do so here on Saturday, which is what those odds imply, is simply absurd to me. Povetkin's an extremely dangerous live dog in this one. And I'm going to take him here again at odds of plus 270 to get his hand raised in a fight that likely doesn't go the distance. That'll wrap things up for this edition of the Boxing Prediction Show. As always, leave us your thoughts. And you can also catch me over on Twitter at the SportsWolf83 and at my handicapper page, Kevin Dolan, over at WagerTalk. We'll be back next week with a breakdown of Jamel Herring versus Carl Frampton for Herring's WBO title down at junior lightweight. So stay tuned for that. As always, until then, thanks for listening. Slán